Chapter 33. All the guests had left long ago. Kaido was sleeping in the guest room soundly, dreaming about Tiffany. Key was in the living room sitting on the floor and looking at the ceiling.
Okay, now put your feet on my face gently.
He instructed a pretty girl with crimson hair sitting on a chair close to him with naked feet.
Like this.
Intrigued, the girl giggled.
Just like that?
Key helped her place her feet on his face, her pretty little toes pressed against his lips.
And now the champagne.
The girl keenly observed Key's face covered under her feet.
Yes, now slowly, really carefully trickle the champagne from the bottle onto your feet.
Key's heart was comfortably excited, drumming away. The girl had flawless feet. She didn't walk much and her jeans were delightfully aesthetically pleasing.
Like this?
She observed the champagne trickle down her skin between her toes right atop Key's lips, who was kissing and licking the sweet beverage, tickling her soles.
More?
She thought it was quite weird to do such a thing, but at an hour this late, it seemed perfectly fine.
Yeah. Do some more.
Key felt the liquid run down his cheeks. He kissed her feet passionately. He felt something pleasant he could not quite describe or understand. He loved the taste of sweet champagne, and he loved her beautiful feet without a single scar or any unpleasant smell. His brain was firing happiness. His chest ignited by desire and his belly set ablaze by champagne. He could feel his blood pumping into an erection. He pulled one foot down toward his crotch to show her that he was hard. The redhead looked at him as if he was the naughtiest boy on the planet and erotically massaged his hard cock. Her other foot was still on his face, being worked on by his tongue.
What do you think, Key? Will there really be a serious conflict between the East and West?
The girl watched the young man undo his pants, and she slid her foot onto his shaft, stroking it up and down.
Maybe
He proceeded to kiss her other foot.
there could be a few smaller conflicts, or there could be nothing if they come up with a solution. Probably unlikely. Aren't we too civilized for that? But what worries me more are the longevity pills that are coming out on the market soon that are for the rich only. I assume it is only a question of time before someone throws the pills into a chemical analyzer and gets the recipe for it and then starts selling it illegally as a street drug to gain wealth.
He resumed kissing her feet and ordered her to spill a little more champagne down on her feet.
Will the Yakuza sell the pill?
She grabbed and released Key's cock and repeated the motion with her toes.
Maybe,
Kay moaned.
Can you take me to the seaside simulation?
She kept going.
how do you know about it?
Key removed her foot from his face.
A friend of mine told me you took her there.
She stopped rubbing his dick and got down on her knees close to the boy's face. Key could feel the beat of her heart. She poured a little bit of champagne in his mouth and kissed him. Bubbles sparkled between their tongues.
Sure.
They swallowed the champagne and her sweet lips too. He looked into her heavenly blue eyes surrounded by swaying dark red hair. Her hair looked like shimmering summer wine. He got up and walked out of the room. Judging by the time he was gone, the girl judged that he went to the library. He came back with a pill.
Here, swallow this one.
He put it on her tongue. The girl downed it with a mouthful of champagne. She took another sip and rinsed her teeth with it like it was expensive mouthwash. She looked absurd with her big cheeks vibrating full with the sparkling nectar of gods.
Okay, here we go.
Key relaxed on the floor next to the girl's perfectly groomed feet. She was a pretty geek who sat at home all day long every day. The girl had respect for Key's work. It was the main reason why she came to Key's party. The next time the girl opened her eyes, she was high up on the fire escape staircase of a white building, almost scraping the clouds. She could see the ocean in the distance. It glimmered dark blue. There were white birds in the sky, but not a single human being in sight. The silence was deafening. She could only hear the wind in her heartbeat. The sun was trying to break through threatening thunderous clouds and blessing the atmosphere with an impression of divinity. A large plane slowly roared past the building so close one could almost touch the tip of the wing. That is, if one dared to reach for it. The girl's heart throbbed from excitement.
There isn't a single human being here?
The girl cheered. It was a lush opposite to the overcrowded world.
Yeah, there's also almost no sound. Well, to be more specific, there is a sound of silence firing into our auditory cortexes. And then it gets partly removed to create a sound. Basically like sound and how we perceive it, but the other way around.
The city. There's no end to it?
The girl could not see what was behind the horizon.
Yeah, it will just generate further buildings and streets randomly as we go.
Kai looked at the ocean.
Can we walk down the stairs and see it in action?
The girl wanted to see.
Why not just jump down?
Kai just jumped over the handrail and fell straight down to the ground.
Wait!
The girl hesitated. She was a little drunk. How could he be so sure that this wasn't reality? What if that pillow was a vile joke to keep her motor cortex active, and now by jumping she would fall to her death? She looked down and saw Key looking up at her, waiting for her. Fear with its black claws was crawling up her spine. She didn't really know what she was doing, but she jumped and face planted on the ground next to Key.
We don't have to walk. Here. You drive.
Key gave her the keys to a hot rod sports car. He climbed into the passenger seat. The boy transformed the car into a convertible so fast that she could have sworn that it had been a convertible in the first place. He wanted to see her hair in the artificial wind. A few days ago, microcode was added to the simulation to play with the movements of the hair by simply willing it.
But I don't know how to drive. I only took a few driving lessons and never got the license.
The girl didn't know what to do with the key.
You'll manage. See it as a practice. Not that it matters.
Key felt slightly bored with the girl. He would rather have spent time with her in reality, nibbling on her pretty feet. The girl got in the car and started the engine. The car accelerated in the empty street. Key played a dope track full of bass and an energetic rhythm on the stereo.
Faster!
He watched her crimson hair flicker in the wind. His fingers tapped on the door. He glimpsed in the side mirror. The car roared. The girl's hair now swirled all over the place in the wind.
Faster!
Kai grabbed her leg and pushed it down on the gas pedal. The artificial air filled with sweat and excitement. The car flew through the city, and as it did, the city started to change. The textures began to blend and fuse. They could see the large city being constructed randomly before them. Suddenly, a cliff appeared before them crystal clear. Before she knew it, the car was flying over the edge. A second before they hit the ground, she closed her eyes and screamed.
Sure. Don't wake Hawkeye up.
Key shook her by the leg and laughed. He proceeded munching on her toes. Her feet had become moist from fear. They clapped cheeks in ecstasy that night.